All right. Welcome, everyone, back to the continuation of week 2 of our challenge as we focus on prioritizing protein intake. Last time I talked about different sources and amounts and how to get to our 100 grams per day and trying to break it down into basically 3 to 4 palm-sized servings of protein. Today, we're going to get a little bit more nerdy as we dive into the structure of proteins and their building blocks, amino acids. Even though it's a little technical, I'm going to try to keep it on the most basic level. And I think that understanding some of these terms and the basic biochemistry of what we're eating will help us better grasp some of the future concepts I'm looking to throw at you guys as we continue along this challenge, especially when it comes to proper digestion of these foods. So let's get right into it. So I've mentioned the word amino acid a few times now, and I just want to make sure we all know exactly what an amino acid is. So let's get some detail on what they are. Amino acids are molecules. They're basic molecules. They're used by all living things to make proteins. Now, I thought this picture was a nice, simple version and visual so we can get an idea that the most basic building block amino acid on the left, if you string multiple amino acids together, it's called a peptide. If you take multiple peptides, connect them, and fold them together, that forms a protein. The arrangement of the different amino acids, which order they're in and how they're put together and how they're structured, determine the type of protein that it's going to form. One way to conceptualize this is to think of each amino acid like a letter from the alphabet. A single letter by itself is like an amino acid. You put a couple letters together and you can form a peptide, which would be represented by a word. Multiple peptides together then start to form sentences, paragraphs, or books. And that's like our proteins, are these complex structures of which the basic building block is an amino acid. I also visualize it like Legos. A single building Lego block is like the amino acid. You start to build, put a couple of them together, and you got the peptides. You build a whole Lego structure, or an X-wing out of Legos, and you have a complete protein there, a complex organization of multiple different types of amino acids. But at its basics, we're looking at amino acids as the building block. Now, let's remember this concept as I release my next video on the digestion of protein. But for now, let's jump back into what these structures make up in our body. So let's quickly remind ourselves that amino acids and the proteins they form serve a much greater purpose than simply building muscle. They play a key role in digestion, creating all kinds of enzymes that help us break down and properly absorb the food we eat. They're building blocks for all of our tissues, not just muscle, including cartilage, ligaments, tendons, hair, skin, nails, bone, organs. So they're all cells in our body. They also make up or help contribute to the makeup of hormones, neurotransmitters that make up our brain chemicals and function. They can also be used as an energy source, but typically proteins and amino acids are not going to be our primary fuel source for our bodies. They're actually going to be one of our last sources of energy our body will use for making energy. They're also key in immune cells, immune function, and our detox systems within our body. So amino acids, much more than just for building muscle in the gym. Now, our body can make hundreds of types of amino acids, but there are 20 specific amino acids that are necessary for all of our body's functions. These 20 amino acids combine in different ways to make up all the proteins in our body. I have the 20 listed here. On the left, I have 9 of these 20 amino acids in the gold box that are considered to be essential. They're called essential because our body cannot make them. So we have to get them from what we eat. We have to get them from food sources. Now, I do want to highlight that the amino acids on the right-hand column, the other 11 amino acids of the 20, even though they fall into a non-essential category, it does not mean that they are not vitally important. It just means that our body can produce them, can form them from different building blocks we have. But one thing you'll notice that glycine is a specific amino acid I've mentioned in our previous video. It's at the top of the list of the non-essential amino acids. However, it's an amino acid that we are most often deficient in. This is because the rate at which our body breaks down collagen within our body, the connective tissue within our body, on a daily basis is greater than the rate at which our body can produce glycine to replenish that collagen production. So it leaves us in an overall glycine deficiency. So it's one I recommend supplementing. Now, traditional cultures and diets used to eat a lot more collagen-rich foods. But for modern diets, I recommend supplementation to get started. That's just one example. But keep in mind, all of these 20 amino acids play key roles in different functions within the body that I mentioned on the previous slide. Now, on the left, in the 9 essential amino acids, I put an asterisk next to 3 of those amino acids: isoleucine, leucine, and valine. These 3 amino acids make up what is termed the branched chain amino acids. These 3 amino acids stimulate specifically muscle growth pathways within our body, and they're very much promoted in the fitness industry. However, leucine is really the main amino acid that's going to stimulate the muscle growth pathway mTOR, and leucine is found in all complete protein sources. So I would say that there's no need to go chasing branched chain amino acids or BCAAs. Any products that are promoting that or supplementing that, to me, you're probably just wasting your money, and just focus on getting a complete source of protein and you'll be fine with your leucine content. Now, let's jump to what are some complete protein sources, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids that our body cannot produce by itself. Here's a nice little chart I found actually from Swanson, listing complete proteins. So you'll see basically all of our animal meats are going to be containing all 9 essential amino acids. However, there's going to be a different ratio and quantity of those different 9 amino acids, and the other 11 non-essential amino acids will also be found in some of these sources. So variety is key to make sure we're getting a nice base and variety of those 20 amino acids that I had on the previous slide. Now, in addition to variety, we'll notice that there's some plant-based sources that are also complete proteins. Quinoa, chia seed, and soy-based products are some of the more popular ones used when trying to get our plant-based sources of protein. Now, from soy, you've got tofu, tempeh, and seitan are all different products you can get that have a good source of complete protein in them. I would always recommend to go organic with any soy products. I don't have a problem with using soy products, but always go organic if you can. There's also different plant-based sources of different proteins that you can combine to make a complete protein. So rice and beans by themselves are not complete proteins, but if you combine them and you eat them together, you'll get all 9 essential amino acids. That's the most classic combination of plant-based foods to combine to form a complete protein. But whole grains, nuts, seeds, spinach, broccoli, and mushrooms are also great different plant-based sources to combine to make a complete protein. Now, I wanted to keep this video a little short and try not to overcomplicate it, but I wanted to give you a basic concept of what an amino acid is, how it makes up a protein, the different types of amino acids, essential, non-essential, and then the sources of where we can get these amino acids. But always remember, back it up and keep it simple. We're trying to get 100 grams of protein per day, which breaks down to about 3 to 4 palm-sized portions of one of these complete proteins. Variety is key. I like to supplement my complete proteins with some of the other plant-based proteins. It gives you a nice variety of the amino acids you're bringing in. And then sprinkle in a little bit of collagen sources a couple times a week, and you'll be good to go. Hope this helped you guys. Stay tuned for tomorrow as I break down the digestion of proteins and some key concepts we'll pick up from there. As well as tomorrow night, we have our live Q&A session through the Facebook group. Have a great day, guys.